Thanks for watching CBS 8 Plus and welcome to this Throwback special. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. With 75 years of broadcasting, we have covered many memorable moments here in San Diego. In this Throwback special, we dove into our CBS 8 archives and found stars, not in the skies, but right here in San Diego. We start out with a look back at the 1950s with legends like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley. And the film, well, it was in black and white. These clips may be silent, but the images speak volumes. Megawatt stars visiting San Diego in the 1950s. Channel 8 was at the final rehearsal before the world premiere of Judy Garland's show at the Russ Auditorium. We bragged at the time that we had the first TV pictures ever shown of Judy in a dress rehearsal. The show featured the smiling bundle of energy that was Judy Garland and was packed with fun, music, and dancing, and included a cast of 40 others, including such names as Frank Fontaine and the Hi-Lo's. It was like nothing they had ever seen before. You can't hear their screams, but their faces say it all. Elvis was in the building, and it was pure pandemonium. More than 4,000 youngsters jammed into the San Diego arena, the audience mostly made up of teenage girls squealing and swooning. The screams of the audience drowned out most of the King's performance. Police said later that some parents complained that the show wasn't appropriate for juveniles. Julie Garrett was a local singer and was paid $50 to be the opening act. 30 years later, in 1986, she shared her memories with us.
I could definitely see why the girls were going crazy and screaming, because at that time, nobody did anything like that. He had that charisma that only a superstar has.
Screen legends Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster arrived at Lindbergh Field and were greeted by a contingent of naval officers. The actors were in San Diego to shoot their film Run Silent, Run Deep, a war story based on a novel by Commander Edward Beach. They met with officers, signed autographs, and went aboard the USS Sperry submarine. The stars were out for Jimmy Durante Day, where the turf meets the surf. Seen in the stands at the Del Mar racetrack, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. War hero turned movie star Audie Murphy. Singer Hoagie Carmichael. Dennis Crosby being son and his wife Pat Sheehan. And actor George Raft. He was a horror film legend, but when he visited San Diego State, Vincent Price demonstrated some of his other talents. It was a packed house as he presented a dramatic program entitled Three American Voices. These were the three giants of literature, art, and drama: Walt Whitman, James A. McNeill Whistler, and Tennessee Williams. The tall, distinguished movie star also answered a series of questions from his huge audience. In addition to his movie work, Price had a wide variety of interests, including art, anthropology, and archaeology. It was September 21st, 1959. 19-year-old rock and roller Ricky Nelson flew into town Saturday afternoon for a swing session at Westgate Park, and the girls went wild. He was brought here under the auspices of the Fiesta del Pacifico. His managers were afraid he might be mobbed, so he was given heavy police protection, and it was a good thing. More than once, the girls started to move in on the stage and had to be held back. Ricky is used to it. He lost his shirt to a mob in Louisiana and had the doorknob torn off his hotel room at Indianapolis. He managed to escape Westgate Park simply because his friends had a car with a motor running parked behind the stage. When he left in a hurry. The girls clapped, hooted, hollered, and cried real tears while Ricky strummed his guitar and warbled away. In the 1950s, there was no star bigger than Marilyn Monroe. We were on the set of Some Like It Hot, and here is how it was described on our newscast. The staid old Hotel del Coronado hasn't seen anything like it in years. The day Marilyn Monroe came to Coronado, Marilyn and hundreds of extras, technicians, and sightseers. Among the co-stars, Joe E. Brown, who, as always, had much to say. And finally, Marilyn arrived, fully guarded by her husband, playwright Arthur Miller. This was the first movie making in 2 years for the still shy, still very beautiful Marilyn. She plays the role of a misfit with an all-girl orchestra in the Roaring '20s. Billy Wilder directs Some Like It Hot, but today it was all Marilyn Monroe. This is who the crowd came to see, and they were not disappointed. Tony Curtis brought along his wife, Janet Leigh. A crowd of onlookers, and Marilyn paused long enough to pose for our flabbergasted cameraman.
You could argue that the 1950s and 1960s were the height of Hollywood, but you cannot argue that Harold Keene was the king of San Diego TV news. He got the biggest and best interviews, and he got all of them, from Gregory Peck to Jane Mansfield, even the iconic Joan Crawford. And our cameras helped him catch more icons in action, like Walt Disney on a SeaWorld excursion and Bob Hope at a naval graduation.
When the brightest stars of Hollywood's golden age came to San Diego in the 1950s and 60s, TV8 crews and newsman Harold Keene were on it, regularly tracking them down for an interview. In 1963, Joan Crawford attended the dedication of the Pepsi building in Kearny Mesa. Her late husband was CEO of the company, and Crawford was on the board of directors. Keene asked her about her family and her new movie with Bette Davis, the huge hit Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Could you tell us something about your family?
My twins are 16, and one is traveling with me at the moment. The other one is in New York taking special art courses.
Do any of them have any aspirations for a show career?
My eldest, Christina, yes. But the twins, no.
Now, this turned out to be one of the big sleepers of all time, this picture, as far as a money-making picture is concerned, isn't it?
Yes. We didn't think it was going to be a dud. We all of us who worked on it really thought it was going to be exactly what it is.
It was quite a low-budget picture, wasn't it?
Yes, $850,000 shot in 31 days.
And it set all sorts of box office records in New York alone on its opening.
In 11 days in New York City area alone, we got back to $850,000.
La Jolla native Gregory Peck came home for the world premiere of To Kill a Mockingbird in 1963. He would win an Oscar for Best Actor, and the movie won Best Picture.
And it's quite, I think, a good thing for the image of our country abroad, particularly where there are people of color, to show a white Southerner defending a black Southerner.
Another local acting legend, Dennis Hopper, was in town for the openings of two motion pictures, Battle Beyond the Sun and Night Tide. Keene asked the Helix High grad if his acting experience in San Diego was a good foundation for his career in movies.
Dennis, do you think that your San Diego acting experience served as a good foundation for your career on Hollywood?
I think it was invaluable. My training at the Globe Theater, and when I graduated from high school, I played Shakespeare here at the old Globe Theater, and that was a marvelous experience. And I worked at La Jolla Playhouse, and as an apprentice, and I met a lot of people there. I had a great opportunity to watch professional actors work and rehearse, and it was invaluable.
Hollywood bombshell, Jane Mansfield starred in the stage version of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes at the Circle Arts Theater in 1964.
How do you like this role of Lorelei?
I love it. It's so much fun. It's very campy, but the girl is sweet. I play her very soft. I don't play her brass or crass.
Not too scatterbrainy?
No, of course she's not scatterbrained at all, because any girl who would be so smart as to try to gather as many diamonds as this girl is could not be a scatterbrain.
Walt Disney, the world's greatest showman, took a day off from his own world-renowned Disneyland today and brought his wife and grandchildren to San Diego for a visit to SeaWorld on Mission Bay. The Disney clan spent 4 hours enjoying SeaWorld shows and exhibits. This was Disney's second visit to SeaWorld, and officials would not say whether he was there for fun or to get ideas for a deep-sea Disneyland of his own. Bob Hope was an honored guest today at the Recruit Brigade Review at the Naval Training Center, where his son graduated after 9 weeks basic training. 21-year-old William Kelly Hope was working at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York when he decided to join the Navy. He told our Harold Keene he joined because he enjoyed the sea and diving. Bob joked that he wanted to see him more, referring to his USO tours where he entertained troops, often in combat zones. He was a proud dad and impressed with the ceremony.
But I'm kind of proud of him, and I think this is a great step. And I was very impressed with this ceremony today. See those young guys out there? They look great. And I thought the whole thing was, I didn't see one mistake out there. I was kind of proud of the whole thing.
Bob, you're known as the serviceman's friend. Is this what you'd like to be remembered for?
Anytime I can contribute anything, I think it's a great privilege to be able to. And I've been very lucky that I fell into that kick, and I certainly get a smash out of it. And I don't think anything in my career has given me more pleasure than doing these shows for these guys.
You probably made more trips to servicemen's camps than any other entertainer.
Well, I guess I've done a lot of work, but now unless they capture Martha Ray, I think I have the championship.
Kelly, where do you go from?
Bob gave a lot to our armed forces. In the 1970s, there were plenty of superstar spectacles, events that brought together the biggest Hollywood stars with famous athletes. In San Diego, that meant a tennis tournament in Del Mar to benefit a support program for people who worked in and around horse racing. So when you look to the stars, you might catch a glimpse of an angel. And the most famous of a 1970s trio was out on the court. Our Dave Cohen was there for all of the back and forth.
Third annual Bacharach Shoemaker Charity Tennis Classic were celebrities like the hosts, Burt Bacharach and Willie Shoemaker, actor-director Cornell Wilde, former Tarzan Ron Ely, and Desi Arnaz Sr. This affair is held to benefit the Horsemen's Benevolent and Protective Association for the ill and aged of the horse racing business. Perhaps the strangest team was the long and short of the field, the towering Ely and the diminutive but fiercely competitive and talented Shoemaker.
Dr. Irwin took a test of all the athletes, professional athletes, and the jockeys came out on top. Football players, basketball players, all of them.
But most of the crowd came to see Farrah Fawcett Majors, who has bolted the popular Charlie's Angels TV series to test the waters of the feature film world. Despite her meteoric rise, she's obviously had time to get in a little tennis. Fawcett Majors did sign autographs for youngsters in the crowd today, but she declined to do any interviews because of a court injunction in connection with her Charlie's Angels contract dispute. But no one here disputed her tennis form, least of all Bacharach, who teamed with the one-time Angel for a 6-1 victory over Shoemaker and Beverly Hills real estate agent Cindy Barnes. But even when her form looked bad, her form looked good. Dave Cohen, TV8 News, at the Bacharach Shoemaker Charity Tennis Classic in Del Mar.
There were few movies in the 1970s bigger than Rocky, and maybe no one working harder in the business than the guy who wrote and starred in it, Sylvester Stallone. Back then, being a movie star was at the top of the fame pyramid in the United States, and Stallone worked hard to get there, traveling the country to promote the film. On his visit to San Diego, Janine Tartaglia got to sit down with him for a one-on-one without the gloves. But there were other stars trying to muscle their way into the limelight. That included one who would conquer the big screen and California politics. But before Arnold Schwarzenegger would become the Governator, Carol Kendrick met him at a book signing here at America's finest city.
Have you ever wanted something so bad that you would risk everything despite the odds to get it? Rocky Balboa has, and although he is a perennial loser, this two-bit boxer undergoes a brutal, breathtaking ordeal to prove himself. Rocky's writer and star, Sylvester Stallone, also had to prove himself. After a series of movie flops, actor Stallone wrote a screenplay for Rocky. Now every producer in Hollywood wanted Rocky, but no one wanted Stallone. So the unknown put his meager income on the line and produced most of the film himself. That risk paid off. The movie is now a multi-million-dollar hit, and Stallone is a steaming hot star. Stallone owes his stardom to the Italian Stallion, and in a way, he is the Italian Stallion.
Well, basically, it's my philosophies and pretty much my sensibilities that are in the movie. I've never lived in that particular neighborhood, nor have I ever fought. But I believe that anybody can get ahead if he simply tries to butt that door down. Even though he may not win all the time, it's just the effort. I think for his own soul-satisfying edification, like when he's 60 or 70 years old, say, hey, I really tried in life. I tried my best shot. first take, it was very cold. I said, man, I should be in bed. What am I doing out here in the streets of Philadelphia at 4:30 in the morning with the wind blowing? But after the first day, when they showed us the dailies, what we had already filmed, I knew that I was in the right ball game.
Coming in for 6 years, and 6 years you've been sticking it to me. I want to know how come. You want to know? I want to know how!
Because it's been proven that a low-budget film can keep up with the high-budget monsters of today and knock them down.
Sylvester Stallone is riding high on a cloud of success, but the 30-year-old writer, doesn't take it lightly. He paid for it and says he would do it again. Why? For a good meal and a new pair of shoes. In Coronado, Janine Tartaglia reporting for TV8 News.
I guess you don't have to be a muscle man to want to look like one, or look at one, especially if the muscle man is Arnold Schwarzenegger, the folk hero of the 90-pound weaklings. Arnold's appearance at a Fashion Valley bookstore drew standing room-only crowds who wanted to meet the man with the muscles. They bought autographed copies of his latest book. They brought muscle magazines for him to sign, and lacking paper and pen, they even offered themselves. Arnold takes the attention in stride, though. The former Mr. Universe and star of the movie Pumping Iron is used to having people stare. Does it ever make you feel funny that people come out to look at you?
No, I don't think it's just looking at me. I think people just want to meet me. I think people want to use me for their inspiration. There are a lot of different reasons why people come out to see me, or they want to get my autograph.
And the people standing in line in the noonday sun numbered among them the curious, the impressed, and to be truthful, the slightly horrified.
I find it fascinating that you can do that to your body and improve your body and be healthy and eat good foods.
Would you ever want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Not quite that big. I wouldn't mind being. I'm not his size or anything, so it's hard to say. I'd like to be like a smaller version, but not quite as bulky as he is, though.
What do you think of men that are built like that?
I really do not find them attractive at all. In fact, I think they are repulsive looking.
Arnold says the principles of bodybuilding, carried to a lesser extent, can improve a man's abilities in a variety of sports, improve his general health, and make a man feel better about himself. Maybe that brand new body won't appeal to every woman, but probably to enough. This is Carol Kendrick reporting for TV8 News from Fashion Valley.
He'd be kissing a lot of babies out on the campaign trail decades later. Christmas specials were a staple of 1970s television variety shows, bringing together stars from disparate disciplines. You needed a ringleader, someone cool under fire, and you would be hard-pressed to find one cooler in the 1970s than Rat Pack veteran Dean Martin. Our Doug McAllister got to drop in while they filmed a part of a show at SeaWorld, and no, Jerry Lewis was nowhere to be found.
It may be a little early for most of us to be thinking of Christmas, but not the television industry. Believe it or not, this was network taping of a Christmas special, starring people like comedian Dom DeLuise, actress Shirley Jones, and the host of it all, singer-comedian Dean Martin. The special will be called Dean Martin's Christmas in California, but Dean wasn't saying much about how SeaWorld fit into his special.
Well, it's about the whale.
Very tall.
Oh yeah, we're giving him a Christmas. We're giving him a Christmas. It's all about him going to college, and well, I can't give the plot away. I just want you to watch it. That's all. All of San Diego. All right.
How about the people in it? Dom DeLuise, Shirley Jones, etc.
Well, you can't find two better than that. Love them both.
Besides those already mentioned, Dean's Christmas special will feature the Gold Diggers, first introduced when Martin had a regular network show. Arranging for the special to be taped here wasn't inexpensive. The Convention and Visitors Bureau and member organizations fronted $75,000 to bring the production company to San Diego. Dean's special will show December 13th on a rival network. Doug McAllister, News 8, SeaWorld.
Breaking taboos is one function of art, and it's not always comfortable for the audience or even the artists. In the 1980s, the movie Endless Love caused a lot of controversy over its depiction of teen sex. There was a body double for the scenes for the very young Brooke Shields, but she had to handle interviews like the one with our John Kalia all by herself. A couple of years later, she was much more comfortable hanging out with the koalas at the San Diego Zoo. Her friend Joan Embry helped arrange the internship for the then high school senior, but Brooke was more than happy to put in the work, as our Lorraine Kimmel showed us.
Brooke Shields, now 16, has made her personal views known on morality and premarital sex. In the film, she uses a body double for the more revealing sex scenes, but I asked her what she has to do to portray something on the screen she has never experienced. The key, she says, is this man, director Franco Zeffirelli.
There was just strong direction saying, because there were feelings that I felt, not in those scenes that I'd never felt, but in all the other scenes in the movie that I had never experienced, so I wouldn't know. But so Franco would just direct me as strongly as he could with good examples and good images and associations that I would be able to make in order to understand the scene.
What do you do to escape into your own world?
I've made sure that my school life almost comes first. It does come first at this moment in my life. I have 2 horses, 4 cats. My friends are very important to me. I bring my friends with me on certain jobs. My friend's here right now with me. And to be able to, in between, say, these interviews, to go talk to her and just, that's my little time of getting on with someone on my own level, and just sort of escaping to them.
Where's my lunch? And what are all those people looking at? Oh, here comes the girl now. But where's she going? We want our grub. No, folks, this is no Brooke Shields look-alike. The $1 million teenage model is doing a 3-week internship at the San Diego Zoo. Brooke loves animals, so when it came time for the seniors at Dwight Englewood High in New Jersey to go off for a month of independent study, Brooke's pal, the zoo's Joan Embry, helped work out a stint here. At a news conference, she talked about her work. At the zoo, that is.
You spend most of the time actually preparing their meals because they're very specially prepared. I mean, they don't just get bananas or just anything. They get all different kinds of fruit. And you spend a lot of time cleaning their, where they live.
Brooke Shields cleaning a cage, preparing animal food?
The first day I got in there, they said, all right, here, here's a hose. You have to hose down the cages, or, here's the food. You've got to cut it up for lunch. And it just, I was put to work immediately, so that eliminated any sort of a problem. And people just didn't, they realized that I was a student intern and that I was there to help as much as I could.
Brooke says she'd like to work more with animals, probably when she retires, though. She does plan to do some campaigning for endangered species. In the more immediate future, it's back to New Jersey soon to prepare a slideshow, written report, and oral presentation on what she learned at the zoo. Lorraine Kimmel, News 8.
A lot of people would like that homework assignment. Magnum P.I. was a steamy success story on the beaches of Hawaii, with star Tom Selleck running around in flip-flops, shorts, and aloha shirts. But in San Diego, at the height of his fame, Selleck was found running around indoors with knee pads and sneakers. He was in town to raise money for the U.S. men's national volleyball team. And as Lorraine Kimmel found, he was raising the temperature for all of the women who were in the audience.
Can it be that volleyball attracts only women? And why all those long-range lenses in the crowd? Wait, why is the crowd roaring? The game hasn't even started yet. Oh, it's just Tom Selleck taking his jacket off. Yes, America's current heartthrob can apparently do more than just send women's hearts aflutter. The man who fights crime in prime time, a man of considerable daring-do, can apparently do more than just act. He is a member of a Honolulu-based Masters Division volleyball team. You have to be over 35 to play in this league, but still it's serious stuff. And for Selleck, a great outlet.
I just have always played competitive sports. I played a lot of basketball and a lot of baseball, and it's always been my outlet. So to be around a bunch of guys who aren't in the business and be treated relatively normally based on how well I do is nice for me.
The crowd thinks it's nice that Selleck has come here. Some have great plans for the actor. Many don't seem to have their hearts in the game, though.
I'm here for Tom. Tom knows so bad. Does Tom know? Well, he's going to know because I'm going to throw myself on his body any moment.
I just came with my wife to see a volleyball game.
She dragged you, I take it?
I think so, yeah.
Is Tom Selleck everything you thought he would be? And more. But back to the game. Is Selleck, who played volleyball at USC and is also the honorary captain of the USA men's volleyball team, is he any good at this game? Here's his opinion.
As far as our team goes, it's been kind of rewarding because I feel like they need me.
Well, if Selleck's teammates ever decide they don't need him anymore, there are obviously lots of others out there who would clearly be happy to console him. The USA men's volleyball team can be consoled by today's game. It netted the team $15,000. Lorraine Kimmel, News 8, San Diego State.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching this Throwback special. To see more throwbacks like this one on CBS 8+, you can click on the News tab at the top of the screen. I'm Carlo Cicchetto. We'll see you next time.